Hey, what's up, Cardmunity? Welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please do not forget to subscribe. And if you are not new here, then welcome back. Can we please just notice the little Gwendol up here? This is my cat. Her name's Gwendol, but she's also affectionately known as Gwendol. Gwendol! Hi. You gonna say hi? No? Okay. She's usually very chatty, but apparently, not right now. We knew. Wow. Okay. Well, that happened. Anyways, today we are going to be doing a review on the makeup that I got while I was in Europe. Unfortunately, you cannot, as far as I know, get this makeup here in Canada. There are some stores in the US, but there might actually be a Kiko store in Vancouver. I'll have to double check. But I know that there's a few in the States for Kiko, and there's, I don't think, Pupa. I'll double check, and I will leave the information on the screen for you. I know Flormar does not. Like, they don't, I don't think that there's any places in the US. I think it's just in Europe, and they don't have an online store. So that's unfortunate. But without further ado, we're gonna check Kiko, we're gonna check Pupa, we're gonna check Flormar, and we will do also this Miss Cop, which was something I picked up in like a convenience store. So that's what we're doing today. Since there are so many different products, like I have 2 foundations, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different eyeshadows. I'm gonna do kind of like a side-by-side so that you can see all of them in action, but not create like, not create like a super crazy eye look, because then the products are probably just gonna look really odd, and I know that they look really nice, so we're gonna use them properly. Okay, bye. So due to the fact that, like I said, I have so many like eye products, I'm gonna do the foundation last because I am leaving the house today. I'm going to Costco, so I have to look my Costco best. I'm just prepping my face now so it's ready for the makeup once it arrives. And I'm just priming my face with the Nivea 2-in-1 Moisturizing Primer. This is available here. I got this here before, like in March. So I'm gonna let that sink in, and then I'm just gonna go in with what's left of my Urban Decay Primer Potion. Which I don't really, maybe I'll do one with and one without actually. So we'll start with my Flormar. This is the number 32 orange juice color. So it comes in this little compact. There is 0.14 ounces or 4 grams of product in this compact. There's a tiny mirror up here, and this is what the product looks like. So it's super bright. It doesn't, like, it kind of looks neon-esque in the package. I mentioned this in my, like, unpacking my products video. I will link that up here. It's the one that was out before this one. But this is the product on my finger. And like I mentioned in that other video, it looks very intimidating and very intense. But as you'll see, like, you can build it up or shear it out, and because like the product is pretty well pressed into the compact, I would recommend going in with a finger rather than a brush, because I don't know if a brush is going to give you as much payoff as your finger. So that was one swipe. It was enough for both eyes. I am going to go in and just blend out the color a little bit. So that's the look. This one's the one that has the primer and this one does not. In the camera, I don't know if it looks much different. In person, this one's a little bit more vibrant, but because I didn't put anything underneath, this one blended out a little easier. I am going to go in with a brush just to see how it picks up and just blend that up. Yeah, so the shimmery effect doesn't come off nearly as much with the brush. If you had a wet brush, maybe. But like I said, I think it's so much easier to just go in with your finger. So this is, I wore this look in Europe actually. It was just this. I put nothing else on it or under it, and it wore really nicely. Obviously I haven't worn it for very long today. I literally just put it on. You saw me do it. But I don't know if a primer makes a huge difference. I mean, like I said, it is, yeah, I guess it is more vibrant on this eye. It blended out really well on this eye, but it kind of struggled, like it stayed where you put it on this eye. And when I was in Europe, I don't think I used a primer. I don't think I remembered to. And it wore all day without an issue. So this is Orange Juice. Like I said, I wear it just by itself. I think it's a beautiful color, and it shears out to be like this like pinky orange shade that kind of just fades out into more of a pinkish shade. So Orange Juice is off. Eye is prepped. I'm thinking of combining Pupa and Flormar because I have this lovely color from Flormar that is called Veloute, and then I have this matte shade that's either 040 or V072. We had this issue on the other video too, where there's two different numbers on the back. There's no actual name, so I don't know what the shade number is. In any case, Pupa has 2.5 grams, so it's slightly more than half of what Flormar has. Flormar, I don't know if Flormar has an expiration date. Oh, it does. Okay, interesting. Flormar lasts 2 years. And Pupa only lasts 6 months, according to like the little sign on the back. So interesting to know that. So Pupa's made in Italy. Flormar is made in Turkey. Okay, so I'm going in with the 040 Pupa matte shade to start. Okay, so that's that shade. It doesn't pick up on camera a whole lot. It's very close to my skin tone, which is what I wanted. It's more of a transition shade. It shows up a little more in person. It definitely is showing up more on the side that has the primer on it. So I don't know if you can tell, but I can definitely tell that this eye is a little bit darker than this eye. I did see it when I initially stamped it on, but now I really don't. So I would recommend for matte Vamp Pupa shades, use a primer. Now to go in with Flormar. Again, same with the Orange Juice one. I'm just going to go in with my finger. Okay, something I'm noticing straight away is that the side that has primer on it is way more wrinkly and gross looking. Here's an intense finger swatch because I had on my hand, this hand, and was like, that's not gonna work. But it just goes to show like how intense it can be. Maybe if you put it on with a brush that has some stuff. We're just gonna spray it with my Caudalie grape water. There's a lot on the brush. Let's put it on the good eye. Whoa, Foil City. Wow, okay. I don't know that I would do this with the orange one. I don't know, the orange one's not intended to be this foiled, I don't think. So I wouldn't do it with the orange one. So this is the aquatic, no primer eye. This is the primer eye that was just done with a finger swatch. I love this. Yes, queen. Yes. Veloute, 10 out of 10 recommend. Brush with water. That's the final verdict. The matte one's just a really good transition shade, which is the reason I bought it to begin with. So next we have the Kiko Makeup Milano Long Lasting Stick 8-Hour No Transfer eyeshadow in the color 11. There's no other shade name on it, so I'm assuming it's shade 11. Now, because this is a stick eyeshadow, I don't think I want to prime my eye just because it's already a cream-based product. So putting cream on top of a cream, I'm just not a fan of that idea. I feel like my eyes are pretty oily, so they're already kind of naturally sticky. So I'm gonna do both of them without primer and just see how it goes. So that's the color. It's like a beautiful, like neon blue almost. So let's test it out. Okay, so I like how it looks in person. It's looking real crazy on camera. So this one I kind of fleshed out from the middle, so it gave a more washed out kind of look. It's still neon-ish, but it's definitely not as bright. With this one, I kind of drew across the eyelid and then smoked out just the top, although because I touched it, it kind of lost its shimmery effect almost all the way down until almost the eyelashes. So I'm going to try to build this one up and see if it works, and then go from there. So let's see. So yes, it worked, but I really truly don't know how long it will stay this like intense blue, because I feel like the minute you touch it, it fades. What if we go in with a wet brush? Let's just draw on the brush and see what happens. Okay, so I drew on the brush. Let's see. Well, that works quite well, actually. Wet brush works really well as well. It's not as vibrant, but I feel like it might have a better staying power. Better staying power. You just have to make sure that when you do it in like a stamping motion, like a stamp and slight drag, because if you go in like trying to swipe it on, you're just gonna move the product around. Overall, I do like it. Is it a typical color that I'd wear often? Probably not. But it is really nice. You could likely use like an angled eyeliner brush and go in and use it like an eyeliner as well. So it's quite a versatile product, and it's very, very creamy. So be warned that it says it's no transfer, but I don't know that I believe that. So as I was trying to clean my finger that had it on it, I noticed it was kind of struggling to come off. It doesn't show up on camera, but I can see it's slightly green. And I'm a little nervous that it stains. So, yep, we're gonna see how that goes. So, it's definitely still moving. I mean, it's not as bad as it was in the beginning, but it's definitely transferring. Although I don't think it said it was... Oh, did it say? Yeah, see, it's still moving around. I mean, I kind of caked it on, so I guess I can't be too upset at it. Yes, it's no transfer eyeshadow, but it does transfer. So I don't know how long you'd have to wait before it was fully transfer proof. It's definitely less transfer proof right now than it was before, so that's good. Let's try to wipe it off. So I have some lovely little cotton poofs, some makeup remover, and it's done me well with all other makeup that I've been using it with. So let's just see. Yay, it did it. Okay, so I'm gonna finish off rubbing my eyes, and then I'm gonna prime my eyes and, well, my eye, and then we can move on to our Pupa eyeshadows. Okay, so this is our second last eyeshadow. So we're on to the Vamp Pupa collection. So this one is the Extreme in the shade 003. It's like a garnety kind of color. So that's the color. It's super creamy. I didn't finger swatch it because last time I was using them, they were, when I was showing them in the last video, they were closed. But here's a finger swatch. Like, it's just, look at that. It looks wet. So let's try that on here. This is the primed side. Okay, let's just try while we're here to smoke it out a little bit, to blend it. I'm gonna go in with a lighter finger swatch because I want to also try this with the wet brush. The next one we're doing is called Wet and Dry. Like, it's a wet and dry one. This one just says Extreme. But I'm curious to go in with a wet brush and see how it fares. Wet brush. You know what? It really doesn't pick up that much product. Oh, maybe I lied. Okay, so I can tell anyways. I don't know if it'll pick up on camera. But it's definitely more foiled and intense where the brush was versus where the finger was on the non-primed side. So there's that. On the prime side, I mean, it looks good. But it was all finger on that side. Let's see if we can blend this one out. I mean, you can. It's a little bit harder because it is more of like a sticky product. Like, it's almost like a cream. I really like how the wet brush applied. So again, with this color, I would recommend using a wet brush. I think it's 50-50 with primer. If you want a more intense look, then I would use a primer. But if you're not wanting an intense look and more of just like a glossy look, then I would go without and just use the wet brush. Like, this is more foiled, whereas this is more glossy. So it depends on what you want. Also keep in mind, like I said, my eyelids are quite oily, so there's naturally already some stick to them. And I've been putting stuff on and wiping stuff off, so there's some residual dampness happening on my eyes as well. But I like the color. I like the wear. So, there you go. That's Pupa Vamp Extreme 003. Because of this eye look currently, we're also going to put on this liquid lipstick from Flormar. This has a shelf life of 1.5 years. So it claims to have a smooth application combined with rich matte metallic color and comfortable wear. It has 0.15 fluid ounces or 4.5 mils. And this is in the shade Tempting. And like I said, it's from Flormar. So the same as the first two eyeshadows that we tried. I did wear this while I was there. So that's the color. It's like, I don't know, on camera it's pulling a little more like orange, which is similar to what it looks like in the tube. But in person, it's more of like a rusty brown. I don't know. Actually, now that I've had it on for a little bit and it's dried down, it feels a little odd. So I would top it with a clear gloss, but otherwise, like, it's dry now and it still has that really nice shimmer to it. So I'm going to take off my mouth and I'm going to take off my eyes. I'm going to prep my one eye and we will get into our final color and then the rest of the products. So we're back for the final color. So the final color is Vamp Pupa Wet and Dry Ombretto Cuto. Don't know what that means. 305. And that's what it says on the back. So again, if you're Italian and you know, or you know, if you're not, if you speak Italian and you know what Cuto means, let us know. So this is the color, and same as usual, primer, and then we're gonna do just a wet brush on the other eye. So, finger swatch, looking delicious. Beaut. I do feel like the color is different. I feel like this eye with the wet brush is darker than this eye with just the finger swatch. Tell me your thoughts, but that's just, like, it's not hugely different, but I do find this one slightly darker. Okay, now with that, I'm gonna go in with a dry brush, and I'm gonna do the same to both eyes, where I'm just gonna smoke it out a little bit. Wow, there's like chunks of glitter falling off. Okay, well this sadly sucks. Not gonna lie, I mean it's a fluffy brush, but still, I wouldn't go in with a dry brush. It doesn't do anything. Chunks of glitter just kind of fall out of the brush. It's just not great. I would go in with a dry finger, but not a dry brush. But I still think a wet brush wins, so that's me. Wet brush for the win. Into it. So that's a review of all the eyeshadows. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what y'all think of the eyeshadows. For foundation, we have Kiko Ocean Feel Fluid Foundation SPF 30 in the shade 7. And we have Miss Cop Fond de Teint Poudre Makeup Pro in the color 02 Beige. So this is a powder foundation, and this is a fluid foundation. So I've primed my face, as we've said. It's fully sunken in. Obviously, it's been like 18 years. Let me clean my hands real quick, because the last thing we want is to be putting like eye makeup all over our face. Okay, so we're gonna do this side with the fluid one, and we're gonna do this side with the powder one. I mean, you can't get it here, as I've mentioned, but if you are in Europe and you see this at your local convenience store, I think this is a dupe for the Makeup Forever. So, fun fact of the day. Now, because this is so liquidy, I'm just gonna go in with my hand. Now, as I mentioned in my like unpacking my makeup video, these guys were on sale, so I don't know if they're being like discontinued or if it was just like an end of summer sale. But this color number 7 was the darkest shade that I saw available, so their color range is less than impressive and leaves much to be desired. Like I said in the video, I don't know if that was their whole range or just what was left because of the sale. So if you are a fellow European viewer who knows, then let us know in the comments if shade 7 is in fact the darkest shade, or if they have more shades that just weren't available. And I guess that could be for like this Ocean Feel range as well as all the ranges. So that's this one. It's pretty light, but I feel like it's buildable, but I don't want like a huge thing, so that's that. Ugh, I'm just going to Costco. I don't need to be too bougie. Okay, so it comes with this fun little sponge. This is this. This is 8.5 grams or 0.29 ounces. It's good for 1.5 years. This one is good for a year and is 25 mils or 0.84 fluid ounces. So let's do it. Oh, and it has a little mirror as well. It just looks weird on my nose. My nose is pretty crispy in general, so I mean powder foundations, I mean many foundations, even not powder foundations, struggle with my nose, so don't be mad at the powder for that. So that's my face. It sits so nice, except on my nose, but we can't fault it for that. because my nose is, you know, my nose. So, I mean, obviously the liquid foundation is doing pretty well on my nose. The powder foundation is struggling. I feel like that's to be expected when you have a crispy nose. But otherwise, like, my cheeks look good. My under eye looks pretty good. It's not clinging anywhere else. Cream side, powder side. I'm into it. So we're gonna contour because it's also a powder before we set. I kind of feel like I want to set now, but then I feel like my powder is gonna sit funny, like my Pupa bronzer, but we'll see. So as mentioned, this bronzer is from Pupa. It is the Desert Bronzing Powder in the shade 003. Smells like cocoa. So that is the powder. It's got a very large mirror. Hello. We're gonna use an angled brush. I don't know how to contour my neck, y'all, so this, I mean, right now it's looking not great on camera, but in person I'm really happy with it. Love it. So this is the side that has the cream product. Now let's do powder on powder. It's not really showing up. Well, maybe it is, I don't know. I'm really bad at contour, I won't lie. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. So those are the two sides, powder and cream. So that's how it sat on both. I don't know, I feel like I can see it in person, but you can't see it. Maybe it just looks so natural on the powder side, but I like it. I don't like how it opens. Like, it's got this fun little clasp, but there's nothing here. It's just hard to open. I'm scared I'm gonna drop it, and then I end up digging my fingers into it. And then lastly but not leastly, we're gonna use Glow Obsession Compact Highlighter by Pupa in the color 001. This bad boy. See, this one makes sense. Like, there's a divot here so you can actually, like, unclasp it. Anyways, it's kind of similar, I've realized, to the Amrezy highlight. Here, let's do this. In terms of, like, the wave, but, like, I don't know, I just love it. Like, there's no chunks in it. It's just, oh, it's beautiful. I like using it with my finger. All right, Pupa, let's do this. Look at this. Look at my shine. Look at my glow, baby. I love it. I can't even look at it go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to finish off my face. I'm going to finish off my eyes with some liner and mascara and pop on a little bit of blush. And then I'll be right back. Okay. So in the process of doing all that, I completely forgot a very important part of things that I bought, which was the Deborah Milano 24 Hour Perfect Concealer, which again is an Italian product. It's in the shade 02. It's got a shelf life of a year, and it's made with omega-6 EFA apparently. All day comfort and wear, which is great because I forgot. I was like, oh, I don't need it because I have foundation. Foundation is kind of doing enough. But in the midst of doing my eye, I stabbed myself. Okay, anyways, I stabbed myself in the eye while doing my mascara and got a bunch of it here. So, now we need to correct anyways. I scratched off some of it, not all of it. So, it's in a stick like this, and I just... Now, because it is a stick, it's a little drier, but it blends out so well and easily. It's done. It feels really nice. And it covered what I wanted it to cover. I still like it, and it doesn't crease or cake. Love it. However, I have inadvertently covered up my my glow. So we're gonna go and do that again. That's the look. This is my European makeup inspired look. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it interesting. If you've ever used any of these products / brands, let us know in the comments below. Let us know what your favorite European makeup is. And sad. Okay, I will update you guys later actually on how this makeup wears, but I am noticing on the side that does not have primer, it is creasing in my, like it's separating in my creases. Hey crew, sorry, my lights are like suddenly really intense and I don't know why. It's up any higher than usual. Nope. So it has been some hours. I should probably figure that out. I think I did my makeup around 1-ish. It's now 7, so it's been on for about 6 hours. And I mean, it's still looking pretty good. There isn't much of a difference in terms of foundation, I don't believe. My contour is still there. My contour was generally lighter on this side, I found. Like, it didn't matter what I did to it. It just seemed lighter. There's nothing noticeably different. It's kind of come off on both sides of my nose, because I've been wearing glasses and I've been just like blowing my nose, so that's very common of any foundation that I use. So overall, I like. In terms of the eyeshadow, I guess that's really where the most difference could be seen, because it was the most obvious thing on my face. You can see here that it's kind of separated a little bit, but when my eyes open, you don't notice it at all. On this eye, it has not. Gently. Like, it's still there. No creasing. So the primer did its job. The product looked good on top of the primer. I think in the future I would still go in with a wet brush on top of the primer. But otherwise, like, it's not like it completely came off. If you don't have a primer with this product, it's not the worst, but it will gradually kind of fade. Yeah, that's like my brief 6-hour wear test and an overall review of Kiko and Pupa and Flormar. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know, like I said, if you've used any of these products before, if you've been to Europe, if you are in Europe, what your thoughts are. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share this video, and hopefully I see you on my next one. Thanks guys, bye.